Hey folks, I'm Vasel.
Jason Levine.
Today we're taking a look at a sequel game. This happens occasionally where someone will make a game and then a sequel to it. The first game in this duo is Last Will, designed by Vladimir Suchy and published by CGE. And then he came out with a sequel to it, the Prodigals Club. Now in Last Will, the theme of it was Brewster's Millions.
Yes.
Lose all your money. Lose it any way you can. The Prodigal Club is like, hey, that's not enough. Not only do you need to lose all your money here, too, you need to lose respect and all your friends in the process.
So basically it's Caddyshack, and you're Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, but he wasn't losing anything in Caddyshack.
I get no respect.
Well, I get that. Okay, whatever. We're mixing those together anyway. So this is a sequel. In fact, there's even rules in the rule book where you can kind of combine them. Let's take a look at this game. So a quick overview of this game. There are these 3 modules in the game. In one, you're trying to lose all your friends. In one, you're trying to lose an election. And in one, you're trying to lose all your money. You do not need to use all 3 modules. You can just use 2 of the modules. And in fact, you can replace the module where you lose all your money with the module, with the Last Will game, essentially. And so the game comes with all different sorts of cards for that. Now, the way the game works is you're going to get a score for each of these, and it's going to pick the highest score you have amongst your 3 scores, and that's your final score. You want the lowest score to win the game. So you need to work on all 3 boards. What we're going to do is we're going to take a closer look at each of the 3 boards, because the game is basically a worker placement game. Players have errand boys, they're called. They're these little top hats, and you're going to be placing them, and you can place them on any of the 3 boards or 2 boards if you're playing with just 2 of them, but each board does something different. So firstly, the possessions competition. This is very similar to Last Will. In this one, you're trying to get rid of all your money and all your possessions. Each player is going to get a set of possessions, and each possession has some symbols on them, like this is a dog, this is a horse, this is a house, and they also come from one of different boroughs at the beginning of a round. And by the way, this board is 2-sided based on the number of players. So there's this token here is placed at a borough, and it's going to be rotating, and whenever you sell something from that borough, you get 1 less. So you have these possessions, you also have a certain number of pounds, and you need to get rid of all your pounds and all your possessions. Now there's going to be some possessions that are placed next to the board here at the beginning of each round, and these possessions are likely going to be cheaper than the possessions that you have, and you're also going to have some cards that are placed here. There's different decks of cards, so this one says you place 2 here, whites, and there you place 1 black. And so when players go to these different areas, they're going to be doing different things. One thing you can do is you can switch a possession with a cheaper one. So I might have this house, and I can trade it in for something that's up to 3 less. So maybe I switch it for this one here, and this possession is worth less. So that's one of the things you can do here is you can switch possessions to get a better deal. You can sell possessions at different spots, and usually you want to try to sell them at some sort of discount so that you get less money for them. You can go to this spot here and just get rid of money. Plus, you can get rid of extra money if you have different time tokens on cards. Some cards are called just a little more time, and the more of these you have, the more money you can get rid of. So in this board, I mean, sometimes you can just go here to the ball, and when you take this card, you instantly will spend that much money, 1. And the more time units you have, you get more, the longer you make your ball last, the more money you'll get rid of. Other things that you get sometimes will go onto your board, and the cards on your board you can use once per round. It's a pretty simple thing. You keep them at the top, and once you use it, you slide it down, and the check mark shows that you've used it that round. This one here, you can get rid of 1 for each possession you have. That's in the green borough. And so there's all sorts of cards. So in this one, essentially you're going to different spots and taking different actions to eventually sell all your possessions if possible and get rid of money. Your score at the end of this round will be all your money plus the value of your possessions. And remember, you want it to be as low as possible. At Hyde Park, your goal is to get to lose as many votes as possible. There's a special board. Each player will have a piece on this board, and you're keeping track of how many votes you have. So here your goal is to lose votes. You can place here, just lose a vote. You can also place here to lose a vote and take one of these tiles. You're going to be placing these tiles together. You're trying to match different symbols. So once you match symbols together, like maybe I match these two horses together, now I have another horse symbol, and this can affect the other modules because sometimes different symbols will give you bonuses and such. And if you form a complete square of these, then you have the opportunity to lose a vote or lose money, etc. There's also cards here. Some cards will just give you, losing a vote, you offend the conservatives. You can also offend the liberals. Some will give you megaphones. I guess you're just out in the street, you're just shouting about how awful you are and making a big fuss. And at the end of each round, you can go here to get more megaphones. You're going to see who has the most megaphones, and they're going to lose votes. Whoever has the fewest megaphones is actually going to gain a vote. So this one is a pretty simple module. You basically just have a voting track here, and you can go buy people beer at the pub. There's all sorts of things you can do. Your whole goal is to try to lose votes. Now in this competition, the society competition, each person's going to have a board that they have in front of them. And this board, they have 4 friends on this board, and they're trying to move those friends as far down the track as possible. Your score on this board is going to be the numbers that all these friends are on. Now on this track here, you'll notice there's symbols, so if you have a friend on that symbol, you'll get that symbol. Again, that counts for certain cards. But your object is to move these people down. And so most of the actions on this board are going to let you move, like this one lets you move someone straight down. This will let you move someone diagonally or straight down. This one, there's different ways that you can move them on the board. Sometimes a card will let you move this afternoon tea, and I guess you're causing a problem at the afternoon tea. You can move all the females that you have down too. Or this one here lets you move a female diagonally 3 in this afternoon tea. Or the dinner reservation, you can move one down for each of these symbols that you have. Again, remember, symbols matter. This hopeless jockey, you can move down one for each horse that you have. So you have these actions that move down. Here's the problem, though. Dame Beatrice, I just call her Granny, what she's going to do is she's talking you up. She likes you. So she's going to make everyone, and for example here, in the orange and yellow rows, go up 1. Or maybe she'll make everyone in the orange and red rows go up 1. Or maybe everyone who's next to somebody else will go up 1. Whatever it is, it's going to be different each round. So you can go here to cancel that out because you don't want her to do that. So you want to try to maneuver people into rows where she's not going to affect it, because that's going to happen at the end of each round. So this is this module where you're trying to basically get your friends to hate you. And then finally, there's the middle board here. This board is going to be based on, again, a number of players. And here players can place one of their errand boys to trying to get a better turn order next time, which also gives them a bonus tile, which affects, how the board works. I might get an extra megaphone. I might get an extra lose a vote, lose some money, move the people down some. You can go here. This gives you 2 symbols of your choice, which might matter. You can go here and take a card, which will do different things. And the cards that go in the middle, they have all different cards for different combinations. So if you're just playing with money and losing votes, or if you're playing with all 3, you might use a symbol like this one. Here's T with Moriarty. And so you can go here and take that. So this board is available also to place people on. So you're going to play through a certain number of rounds over the course of the game and placing these workers out. And like I said, you'll total your score from the different modules you're playing. Every player will look at their highest score, and whoever has the lowest there wins the game. All right, well, we should talk briefly. Last will, I need to say, I really enjoyed it a lot.
Me too.
Okay, so we came into this game expecting to like this one as a sequel. And my initial response, I didn't think the rules were written that well. It was like, wow, this seems like a whole lot of extra stuff for no reason. But once I'm getting into this game, I realized that not only do I like it better than Last Will, for me it effectively is going to replace Last Will.
See, I don't know if it replaces Last Will, but I really like both of them.
Well, if you could only play one, I bet you'd pick this one over Last Will.
No, I would do the combination and put Last Will and this together and play the mega game.
Which, by the way, I think is a really bad idea. I haven't tried it, but it just looks too complex. I think there's already enough moving pieces in Prodigals Club. Throwing Last Will into the mix seems like a little too much.
Well, you're throwing Last Will in the money section only, so you're getting rid of the money section.
Yeah, but that makes the money section of this game a full-fledged game.
Exactly.
So you're playing a game with another game in it.
But they're both so good, it's worth it.
It is not. Okay, so this game can be played with just parts of it. I have actually not tried that yet, like playing with just 2 parts. I've only played it with all 3 sections, and I feel like that's the best way because the sections really complement each other.
Yes.
I think it's really cool how stuff you do over in this section will complement, oh, I got some, I'm getting rid of my houses over here. Oh, no. Well, that kind of affects how this section works now.
Yes, and and the symbols, because if you're in the money section and you get rid of all your prized possessions, then you don't have the symbols on them anymore, which then doesn't let you move the pieces down your little 2 men and 2 women that you have to move down, because you don't have the pieces to get them the extra jumps down. So you have to be very careful how you do everything and balance it out. I mean, that mechanic, I guess we'll call it the Knizia mechanic, where the one that's your lowest one is your final score, or in this case, whichever is your highest one is your final score, is great, because you can't just focus on one thing. You really need to focus on all 3 of them. And I agree with you. The best way to play this is with all 3.
And I don't mind that rule, actually, because that rule essentially makes you focus on everything. Otherwise, people just work on one. One thing I really enjoy about this game, it's a decent Euro game, right? But it has a really strong theme. You're kind of making jokes the whole time. Yeah, I made that guy mad at me. Oh, I took my dogs to the restaurant. Oh, I did this and that. I mean, and all that's in the game. Oh, I voted for everybody. You just kind of get into the theme of being a antisocial, boorish person who's losing all their money, and it's like, I find that humorous.
Yes.
But take the theme away, and the game is still really solid.
Exactly.
One thing I like about this is it's a worker placement game, and there are many worker placement games out there. And my preference for worker placement games, when you put out a worker, is put it in a good spot or put it in a better spot. And I like that. Because in this game, what that means is there's always somewhere good to put your person. Now, you want to put them in the best spots. But you never feel like, oh, there's nothing left. There's always something that you can be working on. And you're trying to say, okay, am I going to, I don't want Granny, like, telling people good things about me. She's a pain in the neck. And, but at the same time, I need to get rid of this income. It's coming in all the time. I got to stop this somehow. You're just working back and forth, and I thought that was a lot of fun.
I thought it was great. I mean, I like how you have to be in all the areas. You have to be shouting your megaphones and making sure that people know that you're rude and obnoxious. You need to be making sure that your people are rude and obnoxious to 4 people that have to go down, and you have to make sure that you're getting rid of all your prized possessions, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of money at the end, and it gives it a great balance. It's a great theme. It's a great game. I mean, it's top-notch Euro. I mean, Czech Games makes a lot of really good games, and this one is another one in that line of really good games.
So what's your awesomeness rating?
For this one, my awesomeness rating's a 9. I really like it that much. Unlike you, I love Last Will also. I mean, you love it.
What are you talking about?
But I don't think this replaces it. I'm keeping them both in my collection, and
which, by the way, is not saying a lot, because he keeps everything in his collection.
and I would play both of them anytime. In fact, we played Last Will. The last time I gamed, which, believe it or not, guys, was a month ago, because of the
invalidated opinions.
The tournament I had to play. I played Last Will the very last time I played a game, and I could play them both, and I will play them both, and they are definitely both worth keeping.
Okay, this doesn't make Last Will a bad game, but this game does a few things that Last Will had, that whole hat thing where you get a certain number of cards, certain number of actions. That's okay, but it was restricted. This game removes those restrictions, gives me the same number of actions as everybody else. It just makes it pretty much a straight-up worker placement game. Therefore, I like this one better. Still like Last Will, but I'll probably never play it again because I get the same feeling. This is the exact same theme, basically. It's a different game, but this one's better in my opinion. So I'm going to give Prodigals Club an 8.5.
Not as high as me.
But still pretty high.
It is high. I mean, it's a great game. It's something that I would say everyone should add it to their collection. If you like Euros, this game is something you need to add to your collection.
There we go. Prodigals Club.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.